What's up, y'all? It's Shuffle, and today we got the patch notes for Darkest Dungeon 2. This is the December patch. They dropped these in their Discord about a half hour ago, so I just got ready to show up and read these. I have not read through all of them yet. I've only seen a bit of chatter in my Discord about it, so I'm going in kind of blind here. And before we get started, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Check out the description box for all the cool links, like Discord, Twitter, Twitch, and Patreon. And the Epic Game Store code. Okay. So these patch notes here. This patch is supposed to come this month. I'm pretty sure it's going to come out this week. If they put out the notes, they're probably ready for it to drop. They also had the slip up where they put it in the experimental branch last week, like last weekend. It was up for, I don't know, only a couple hours or something. And it was when I was asleep, so I got all the information secondhand. But besides that, I would expect it either this week or next week. They might say when at the bottom, but let's take a look. This patch looks pretty beefy. So player profiles, they are adding extra profiles, so if you want to start over and stuff like that. But I guess we should just read all of it, right? Okay. We also wanted to add the ability for players to have multiple profiles on their machines. Now, when you boot up the game, for the first time, you'll be asked to create a profile by entering a name, selecting a language you want to play in, as well as taking a moment to opt into our data collection. I'm wondering if this is just going to accidentally like wipe a profile. I bet you that might happen. Oh, that would suck. All right. So in-game patch notes. We've added in-game patch notes. Oh. From now on, all patches, hotfixes, and updates will have their contents documented in the client for the duration of early access. Why can't this just be a feature for all time? This is a good feature. Feature's still in the nascent, I don't know how you say that, nascent stages, but we hope to continue to add small quality of life improvements to help us better communicate the changes. Okay. You see this icon? What icon is this? Direction? It's like, it's just like a little wax badge or something. Okay. Cat hair, nice. Okay. Here's what we need. Or here's what we need to see here. Trophy system and mountain entry. Starting with this patch, you must mount a trophy on your stagecoach in order to enter the mountain. Trophies can only be obtained from slaying the region boss. Remember that region bosses live in lairs, so you have to kill a lair boss in order to get up the mountain to beat the game. This goes against what they said before, because in a previous interview, this is like months ago, so things are subject to change. I'm not trying to pillory them for this. But it's interesting that the decision was reversed, that they wanted the lair bosses to be optional. They did not, it was just a thing where it's like the trinkets and the power spike you get are what you want to help you beat the game. But I guess the numbers are saying that people are just skipping lair bosses. I think that's mostly because the rest of the game, once you get out of the first region, is just it starts to get easier because mastery is your biggest source of power. So you don't need lair bosses to beat the game. That's because everything else in the game isn't hard enough to punish you for not getting the trinkets and like the couple mastery points from the lair. Which means that we're about to see a whole lot more librarian kills. There are gonna be spoilers in this video if you didn't expect them, so there you go. But librarian's currently the easiest boss. I'm assuming people are gonna be taking him down quite often now. So to help you hunt down bosses, all lairs will be scouted by default. This is good. The choice of whether to attempt to slay a boss early in the expedition or later is up to you. Do it later. Just do it later. Future Chef about to have a hell of a time putting that cut in the footage together, but there you go. Yeah, so what is it? Oh, do it later. Fight the lair boss later just because you're gonna be stronger. There's no reason to do it in Biome 1 unless you're just trying to push yourself. So just do it later. Let's see. The choice of whether to slay, early or later is up to you, but you must successfully slay at least one boss in order to tackle a mountain and win the run. Maybe we don't need a buff librarian. Honestly, there should be like one kind of easy boss out of the three of them, and the sprawl is the hardest area. So you still have to deal with the sprawl. Like you could get librarian down pretty easily, and then just fight like 18 pit fighters. So there you go. Each boss has 2 different trophies that they can drop. That's cool. These trophies can dramatically affect your heroes or the stagecoach. We won't spoil them here. We've seen a couple of these. I won't spoil them, I guess, just to let you find out. At least right now. So What happens if you don't have a trophy when you reach the mountain? First of all, if you enter the last region before the mountain and you don't have a trophy, you'll be given a pop-up warning that you need to kill the boss in the region. But if you don't kill the boss and approach the final end before the mountain, your expedition will conclude and you'll be shown the run over screen. Rest assured that all hope will be earned. Oh my goodness. New location type, the Oasis. At the Oasis, you can pay relics in order to relieve stress from one hero. One? This provides another weapon to combat stress and keep your affinities trending in the happy direction. Right out in style, as you advance your player profile, you unlock new stagecoach skins. You can toggle your livery by clicking a button on the stagecoach status screen. Cool. The Infernal Flame, this is torchless. So Darkest Dungeon 1 has a long tradition of dark runs. People stopped calling them dark runs after, there are people that still call them dark runs, but I haven't seen this word frequently used for a long time. It's been called torchless for probably the last few years. Or no light, but anyway, which is the name for when players actively snuff out their torch on purpose in order to elevate the challenge of the game. Enter the Infernal Flame. This stagecoach upgrade unlocks at profile level 20. Once unlocked, oh man, so that means I can't, like, on a fresh profile, just go torchless and win. That kind of sucks. Once unlocked, it will show up in the academics cache in the valley each time you start a new expedition. You choose to mount this on your, or as a stagecoach upgrade. For one, you're already down a stagecoach upgrade, so that's a big, penalty right there in itself. But the flame will be pegged at 1 for the rest of the run and can never fluctuate. This actually means you can't get the torchless cultist encounter, so I guess that's okay. This will increase difficulty substantially. On the plus side, you can never run out and therefore can never be ambushed by cultists from behind. If you mount the Infernal Flame, you probably should not bother with assist encounters at all. Mostly true. You might happen on them just by chance, and sometimes you can get items, and that's kind of worth it. But otherwise, it's still... it's interesting, because you still want to get the loathing down, because I think they get battle modifiers for high loathing, but you don't want to lower you don't care about lowering the loathing for the torch. So I think torchless is going to play a lot different this time, which is good. Torchless in DD1 didn't really change much. You just had to focus on a few specific strategies a bit more. And even then you didn't have to, but you could. But that's a different topic that I made a video on, if you want to watch that. Once you mount the Infernal Flame, you cannot remove it during that expedition. Oh man. Okay, this is what I want to see. Character skills and items. Fix an issue with stacking buff debuff values for, let's see, clotting powders, ounce prevention stuff not displaying correctly on mouse over. Okay. This made it seem like you can only get one or the other or something like that before, and I guess they stacked, so that's good that we can see them. Fix an issue where taunt tokens were incorrectly consumed by riposte. Oh, when you get hit by riposte, it took taunt tokens off the other person, yeah. It's like if your Man-at-Arms had taunt and he hit the knight in the tangle, which could get riposte. If it riposted you, I believe it took your taunt tokens. That's a good change. Pouch of Lie will clear corpses on miss. Why can it miss at all? There's another instance of why can this miss that we're going to talk about too. Chance for a critical hit to heal 1 stress has been raised to 50 from 25. Thank you. Holy crap, thank you. We needed this desperately. This can turn people like Highwayman into stress healers. If you can heal other people with this thing, like if you getting a crit can heal someone else, then crit monsters like Highwayman and Grave Robber could actually be, and Jester to a lesser extent, could be better stress healers, That's cool. This change needed to happen. I'm glad they just did what they did in DD1. Stun heroes that lose their turn will now receive a 40% stun resist bonus until the start of the next turn. There's an issue with being stunned where your cooldowns on skills didn't tick down. And there was a fight that I had with my Plague Doctor who used Indiscriminate Science. And that goes on cooldown for 1 turn. She got stunned 3 turns in a row, and Indiscriminate Science never ticked down during that time. So I had to wait like an extra turn afterwards to be able to use it again. It doesn't seem like they changed that. I don't even know if they know it's an issue. But fix an issue with some combat items. Incorrectly consuming crit tokens, such as Pouch of Lie and Chalk Dust. Combat items that deal no damage but apply a stun, dot, or debuff will consume crit as they benefit from... Okay, good. This means that the Ethereal Eye or whatever it is, that does Blight and Burn. A really good strat on bosses is if you can get a crit token, you throw that at the boss, and they're taking 50 damage between the two damage over time effects. So I'm glad they kept that. Grave Robber. Dead of Night will clear corpse on miss, but only provide the additional bonuses on hit. Why can Dead of Night miss at all? I don't think Dead of Night should just miss. No other Grave Robber buffs, by the way. None. I'm gonna assume this patch was in the works well before I made that video, but Grave Robber needs help. Please help Grave Robber. Hellion. Wicked Hack and Wicked Hack Plus damage slightly increase to better reflect her role as a damager. By how much? Like 5 to 10? 5 to 10 would be good. Wicked Hack Plus now applies a non-resistible... What? 75% healing debuff to a target with combo. So we're Mortal Striking people? That's cool. That's a Deacon counter. That's a good Deacon counter. Although, at the same time, if you don't kill the cherubs and stuff, Deacon's just gonna deck you in the face for 1,000 damage. So, it's still... If you have a Burn Deacon strategy, there you go. Iron Swan and Iron Swan Plus damage slightly increased to better reflect roll as a damager. Iron Swan Plus applies combo. I like it. No Howling End nerfs. Howling End escapes the nerf hammer for 2 patches. And honestly, if we're not going to nerf Howling End, like if Howling End is going to be okay to fly as it is now, and other things are getting buffed, the other big damage moves like Finale and Burning Stars and Lunge need to be buffed if Howling End is going to exist as it currently does. Just straight up. Straight up, that's what has to happen. Highwayman. Tracking shot will now prevent the target from gaining dodge to fight. Yes! Dude, I said this. Maybe not for this move specifically, but there was... I said, like, I wish there was a way to, like, prevent dodge tokens from being gained on enemies, because enemies like Ghoul and Cherub could just spam them very easily. So I'm glad this is happening. Tracking shot still does no damage, so can't check death blow. I'm pretty sure this thing is probably a debuff effect, so they can resist the debuff effect. But it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. For 2 turns, why 2 turns and not 3? Everything else like lasts 3 turns. Why not 3? Fixed an issue where Highway Robbery was not reporting the number of tokens that it destroys. Crush damage slightly reduced to better reflect his role as a defender. Crush got the nerf hammer, which is strange because Crush is like... It's good. I could see nerfing it. It is good. Crush is good in this game. But Retribution Plus still allowed to create havoc. Retribution Plus is still allowed to go out there and become a button that gives you 2 taunt, 2 block, and 2 attacks for 1 turn, or for 1 action with no cooldown. This chair is really bugging me. I need to get a new chair, so it just pops. But my god. Why? Goodness. Malediction Plus now applies dot when the target is damaged rather than hit. Malediction... Hold up. I don't like this. I'm pretty sure Thick got this change because of his videos, but let's see. Okay, so Malediction and Malediction Plus now applies dots when the target is damaged rather than hit. Non-damaging attacks will not trigger the dot or the effect, but dot ticks will. So it can make a feedback loop off itself. The dot ticks will apply more dots. Throw more dots now. Many whelps. Malediction dot damage increased to 2 points. So is the upgrade 3 points? Malediction Plus now reduces the target's bleed, blight, burn resist values by 20. This is a good change. The issue is that Malediction still costs 2 unchecked power tokens, which is way too much for this effect, and the enemy can resist the initial debuff because it sticks as a debuff, and then it does all of the dot damage. So you can still spend 2 tokens, the enemy can resist the debuff, and you did nothing. You spent 2 turns damaging yourself, doing some other side effect with Chaotic Offering, and then you use Malediction and you do nothing. Just absolutely nothing. This is ignoring the fact that you can be blinded, they can dodge, and you do nothing. Malediction just shouldn't be a debuff. Or it should just ignore debuff resist. If you're gonna make it 2 points or 2 tokens, it needs to just go through. I think it should be 1 token, personally. But I believe Thick was talking about something like this specifically, like the resist values. I know he talked about the debuff resist too. So I don't know if he got this change or not, but I feel like this right here might have been him too. I don't know, because he has like 1 or 2 videos with Malediction just destroying stuff. So there you go. Weird Reconstruction and Reconstruction Plus have been reworked again. Actually, not again. It got better last time. Base crit value was removed from the skill as this impacted both bleed, duration, and chance to resist. I don't know why I did that in the first place, but does this mean it can't crit on its own? Because that would kind of suck. It needs to crit. It needs to be able to. The skill no longer uses crit tokens. These negatively impacted the bleed as above. The skill has a... Okay. Skill's a 5%, 10% on upgrade or chance to critically heal as it did before. Where is this in like the game? It doesn't tell you what the crit values for heals are in the game, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. I don't know. It's not reflected in the tooltip, and it's a known issue. So Red Hook did this before. I don't think it's a known issue. I think this is just carryover from DD1, where you couldn't see heal crit percentage in DD1. Critical heal bonus raised to 100% from 50. This is what it was in DD1. So Reconstruction getting very strong right now. Skill now has a 100% chance to critically heal when consuming 2 unchecked power tokens. We need stuff that uses 1 unchecked power. It's good that this interacts with unchecked power. That's really good. That's fun. I like that Occultist unique mechanic. It should affect everything he does in some way. Everything Occultist does in this game should either generate unchecked power or use it in some capacity. I think that's what the character is going towards at some point. Like vulnerability hex for 1 unchecked power token applies combo, right? Stuff like that would be really fun. So I want to see more of this. This is good. We're getting closer to Occultist actually being a healer. He's still meme tier, but we're getting closer to Occultist being a healer. That's nice. Plague Doctor, Magnesium Rain will clear corpse on miss. Did it not before? Huh. Like, can it miss the corpse and then it doesn't? That's weird. Okay. Monsters. Fix an issue causing certain monster attacks, such as Hatchman's Finishing Blow, to fail to respect taunt tokens. Thank you. I hated this. Because you should be able to play around enemies comboing you with taunt. That should be the natural counterplay to it. So if I get hit with combo on my runaway and then I taunt with Man-at-Arms, they should be hitting Man-at-Arms. There you go. I like that they use the word respect too. That's the perfect word. Fix an issue with hard matches potentially spawning in early biomes. Oh yeah? So no more double pit fighters or double ghoul on first road battle? Is that gone? Yeah? Let's see. Fanatics. Ignited Flare's Searing Lunge can now correctly apply burn to targets. Nothing else changed with Fanatics. Still, we have Whipper doing 2 stress cleaves or 1 stress cleave against the entire team. They can crit up to 4 times. It does burn. It does damage. We still have the tall dude. Maybe that's the flare one they're talking about. That can hit you when it's ignited for like direct damage, bleed, burn, and stress. Right? It does 4 things in 1 attack. Oh, we're not changing that. We're just making Fanatics better. Okay. Lost Battalion. This is the Tangle. Minimum damage of many skills has been adjusted, resulting in slightly higher average damage values across the faction. They already hit hard as hell, dude. What? Dude, the foot soldiers hit for like 4 to 8. And the, pretty sure the Arbalest like minimum damage outside of hipfire is like 6. These guys hit hard enough. What the heck? Oh my goodness. And no other changes to these. Oh my god. Alright, Swine. Fix an issue where Wilbur's Shattering Squeal was sometimes not AoE. Yeah, I don't think I've encountered this, but that's fine. Wilbur's now guaranteed to use Obliterate Body when he has a valid target for it. Good. Diseases. Fix an issue with Brittle Bones penalty not displaying under the Conditions tab. But we're not just nerfing diseases. We're not giving us ways to heal diseases easily. We're just doing this. Okay. Hero Shrine backstory adjustments. Highwayman Chapter 1, Rock Throw no longer does any damage. I think it did like 1 or 2 before. Highwayman damage increased. Okay. Look at this dev bias. They're fixing Highwayman story chapters, but Jester, which many people consider the hardest ones, not changing those. Grave Robber, people have had trouble with, not changing those. But we're fixing the Highwayman ones. Change Stagecoach buffing logic. Okay, I don't remember this mission too much. I don't know what that's referring to. Stagecoach buffs now 2 instead of 1 per enemy. Move skill removed. Okay. Leper Chapter 2, Advisor Stab does more damage. That's fine, because lepers were pretty easy that I remember. Stress rebalance, Whispered Plots won't trigger when only 1 advisor's left. Occultist Chapter 3, Ignore heals more now. Oh, the move ignore. Okay. Oh my goodness, we got more. Hold on, let me get some water. Gameplay, friendly skills should no longer consume crit tokens when they're not supposed to. What? I'd like some examples. Trinket awarding and unlocking. Reduce trinket award rates due to a wash in trinkets feedback. Should also help strengthen the trinket buying mechanic. Awarding and unlock. So unlock refers to like player profile, right? So what's awarding? Like winning them? Oh, because you just get thrown trinkets all the time. I don't know if that's the right change. I'll talk about that in a sec. Also revisited trinket unlock levels to spread them out. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. So this is to ensure that their profiles were profile levels where nothing unlocks. That's usually like the last 20-ish. You start getting those. Move class trinket unlocks to ensure that they're always after the class itself to stop the teasing. Was that? I didn't notice. Ghoul is no longer missing its corpse occasionally. I never see Ghoul leave a corpse, but Ghoul still gets dodge. Ghoul still spams dodge on itself. That's not cool. Fix an issue with in items that have a plus chance or plus minus affinity, only giving negative if the relationship is max positive. That's good. That's a good change because that needs to not be there, right? If I'm going to use like a deck of cards, not even a deck of cards, something, there are things that have like very low chance of negative affinity, and it will be that because you're you're maxed out. So that's good. Fixed an issue with act outs not triggering a meltdown correctly if the stress was created on turn start. This issue didn't happen too often, but I know what they're referring to. Like you'd hit 10 stress, the meltdown wouldn't happen, and then like you take your turn, and then the meltdown would happen afterwards, which was weird. But Stagecoach upgrade slots, they now unlock with profile level. What? Brand new profile will only have access to 1 upgrade slot. Ooh, they're making early game even harder. Progression tuning, stretched out lower levels a bit more because first runs were unlocking too many levels at once. Were they? Like if you win, maybe. Like you get, if you don't beat the game, you get like 1 or 2 levels max from level 1. Like I've seen people get to like 2nd, 3rd biome and then lose on their first run, and they get to like halfway through level 2. And then, you know, if you, I guess you can get to level 3 depending on if you take bosses or something, but leveling up quickly was not the issue. This is, I kind of don't like this in a way because it's gatekeeping the characters a bit longer, which my main complaint that I've heard from other people, because, you know, I watch other streamers play this game, is when they play the game, they're upset that like Leper is level 12 because they want to play with Leper. Leper's a fan favorite character. And you're just pushing that further behind. Wait, no, they're not changing what hope you get. Wait, how's this work? Progression, stretch out lower levels a bit. Does this mean the hope needed to get more levels? Yeah, that's what it sounds like, right? I'm not making this up. It sounds like it takes more hope to level up from the beginning. I don't like that. But we'll see. Pricing adjustments to faction trinkets because for the same power they are half as pricey as non-faction epics. What? Well, I don't know what this is talking about. I kind of understand what faction trinkets are, but I don't know. Someone's gonna have to explain this to me. Fixed to Cultist story scouting buff from loot and dagger in, so it actually scouts Cultist territories. Layers are now auto scouted, part of the new trophy feature, which means they have to remove the scouting chance for layer Stagecoach upgrade. That's gone now, which sucks But if they're going to do this, that means we just have an item clogging up the loophole now. Remove ambush chance from mountain biome. That's fine. That's good. I've had this like once or twice. Interface. The minimap and character sheet can now be opened in the story screen by right-clicking the portraits or using the hotkey C or M respectively. Good. Good. You can use relationship with R if you ever needed to. But C and M, it's good that we can use those now. The minimap is now toggleable in the store and hospital. Good. Add a biome progression label to show how far in the run you are. Thank you. This is the best thing for streamers. This is actually like a content creator change for the most part. Like there are some people that boot up a game, they're like, where the hell am I? But for the most part, this is good for streaming. Because I get a lot of people that show up like 3 hours into the run, like, where are we? And now that's good. I like that. Work flavor text is now italicized. The change we all needed. Biome progress and links to the UI elements are now hidden at the mountain. This is still broken. It still says negative once you get past like the Guardian thing, I believe. At least it has been in mine. Correctly using the plural of leagues when you have 0 leagues remaining. What? Reformatted dot tooltips. I think it's funny they like do D lowercase o and then capital T, and then like at a different point, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was all caps. Consistency. Nitpicking. Yeah. Dot tooltips when it has a chance to apply or not. Good. Fix an issue with the hero route preference UI remaining active in the valley after a run is abandoned. What? I think I get it. Oh, I know what it's talking about. I've never had this happen, but I can visualize what it is. So like when you're at a crossroads and stuff, like little symbols pop up, they tell you which way they want to go. I guess that was an issue, or like it had a bug. So fixed or hidden tokens should no longer appear briefly in combat. There are hidden tokens? What? Fix an issue with the target indicator link sometimes appearing in the wrong spots. Okay. Cured pop text should no longer play when locking quirks at the hospital. Fix an issue with destroy token effects tooltips to now show how many of them will be destroyed. Okay. I think that applies to like quirks and stuff, because there are some quirks that destroy tokens and diseases, I believe. Fix an issue with the destroy tokens effect. Wait, I just read that. Escape key should now work to close all UI elements and tabs across the game. Good. Story glyphs now correctly show losing stress as good, so it's gold colored, and gaining it as bad in blue. So in the last patch, they made it so disease has its own symbol in events, but it doesn't stay that way. It still shows up. It's considered a quirk still. So I've done things where it's like, oh, I have a chance at a quirk. Like it says mixed quirk, and then I get a freaking disease. That needs to go away. They tried to fix it once and it's still here. Fix the soft lock issue when selecting cinematic replay and confession at the same time. Various UI fixes, okay. Added more hero barks and edited and revised many of the existing ones, okay. Various typos fixed and language edits for clarity. Changing your language should now happen immediately. Is there anything? I'm gonna take a sec to like skim through here and see if there's anything that I should cover real quick instead of just reading all these. Okay, so there are a couple things in the back end of this that are worth talking about. So the first one, fixing issues with new quirks replacing and not respecting lock quirks. Good, because you can go to the hospital and you can lock a good quirk, but it can still get removed by random stuff, so this is good. I know Thick had this issue. He talked about it a lot, because I guess he locks quirks and he hates that they get replaced. That's understandable. A lot of optimization, it sounds like. So they're fixing visual effects, but also trying to get performance optimization across the game. That's great. This game is really harsh on older hardware. I thought it was mostly the Unity engine, but maybe the game has some fixes itself that it could do, so that's really good. And then finally, we have Wayne June getting more lines. Excellent. Overall, a pretty good patch, it sounds like. A lot of fixes. Looks like Red Hook was very hard at work on this, so I'm happy. And they're probably gone for a couple weeks for the holidays, so it's good they gave us this first. So thank you very much, Red Hook. And the only... like, obviously I had some things to say, both positive and negative. I wanted more hero changes. I wanted more hero changes just because the heroes, like, you spend the most time with them. You know, you play heroes the most in the game. Like, that's the thing you do all the time. And it would have been nice if heroes got some more attention. Like I said, Grave Robber is in a very bad spot. Hellion still has Howling End just going off. Highwayman actually got a buff. Like at the end of the day, he got a buff of all things when he's like tracking shot sucked. It needed a buff, but Highwayman is fine. Like I don't see how tracking shot got addressed before like a bunch of other stuff. This would have been very low on like the priority list, I feel, because Highwayman has 10 other moves that are good. You don't need tracking shot. So Man-at-Arms Crush getting nerfed was a bit strange too. Like Grave Robber needs help. Jester, like Finale could pierce Death Blow or something. Like Finale needs help. What else needs help? Maybe Runaway's like damage on Searing Strike to make it worth using more often instead of Ransack. That could have used help. Like there are a lot of other things I would have targeted before, like Crush and Tracking Shot. Personally, I like the Hellion buffs. I do. But like they're trying to make it so that the other moves being good is going to dissuade you from using Howling End, but it's not going to. Howling End is still very good. So I don't know what they're going to do besides nerfing Howling End. Howling End should get nerfed at some point. We'll see. But that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Like I said, if you enjoyed it, thumbs up, comments, all that stuff, check out the links. And when this patch drops, we'll be streaming it. If it drops, it doesn't say when it's coming out, right? It doesn't. Because I don't stream Thursdays. If this comes out Thursday, I will stream it Thursday. If it comes out Wednesday instead of Variety, I will stream this instead. So, unless it's out now. If it's out now, I'm gonna have to start streaming. Oh goodness. Anyway, hopefully it's not. I wanted the day off. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.